Part 2.
Part 2 of Trekyards. Or
Part 1, Part 2.
I feel like I should get Majel to say next time, or and now the conclusion of Trekyards. DS9, Season 3.
Yes.
A week later.
And we're super confused here at Trekyards HQ. At least I am. We got 9 on the board from last time, and got 18 around the outside.
I see no duplicates.
And there's only 26 episodes.
I see no duplicates. So
I don't see any duplicates either. So I'm confused as hell. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. Hopefully, maybe.
Hopefully, maybe. But Stuart, look, there's a little new tag at the top. What does it say? It was a lot of fun last time.
DS9 themed AI image from Chat GPT. Or from a prompt. $5. Yeah, if there's something specific you guys wanted to see in an episode that you never saw, it's one of the episodes we talk about today, feel free to mention it. We'll see if we can generate an image to satisfy your cravings.
And I definitely...
Like, you know that,
okay. Yeah.
You know that episode where it's called Destiny, where the Cardassian scientists come aboard?
Uh-huh.
And the one lady's really into Miles O'Brien?
Yes. Oh, no.
Want to see them kiss?
Oh.
We could probably do that.
But I want to keep it this very focused, right? Deep Space Nine, Season 3, and let's try and have some real fun with it, right? But like serious real fun. Because I can throw in images, so if you've got a specific, which I think is a good way of doing it, like yesterday with the Answer Mount thing, it was very, very good at replicating. So if you say, take a scene from, oh gosh, what is it in the season? You know, take a shot from, like I said, the Cardassian episode, and say, put them in Starfleet uniform, and I'll take an image from that and see what it can do, and it could be super interesting. So think of it that way. Think of a nice little what if live on screen that will elevate the possible. I don't think CGI will be able to do to keep it people based.
Yes.
And obviously, what happens will happen, and don't give us 50 to do because that'll be too many. But I think it could be fun.
But please give us $55 super chats. Just don't expect an image out of each one of them. I'm just kidding. Anywho's, all right. Do you want to share this?
I do. And I assume we're going to re-discuss the ones already up, just to kind of rebalance ourselves.
We can do a refresher, sure.
Yeah, cool. Because I feel like we commit so hard on these stories, don't we remember them, like these lives, remember them a week later, because we go full in.
Yes.
And that's all good. All right,
it's literally been, go. Yeah. Bye. Be free. All right. Welcome back, guys. Hit that like button. Make sure that you
It's been
are
2
subscribed
years since that.
And, click the bell notification icon. I think that's one of the things I always say. Make sure it says all so you get notified. And if you want, there's a join button down there on YouTube. Click that, and you can join the channel here on a monthly basis on YouTube, or you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards. If Patreon is more your speed and you want to help us out there, you can do that as well. If you don't want to help us at all, that's fine too. Just be in the regular chat. Be part of the conversation. But you guys get to steer the ship today, as it were, by throwing in a super chat and letting us know the next episode you want to talk about. Yes, Classic Freel threw in a nice super chat there, which will cover a lot of them. But if you want to steer the ship and kind of tell us which is the next one, you can do so. And if you don't agree with one of our rankings, you can bump it up or down, one tier at a time, with a $5 super chat. So you have the power here, guys. You get to choose what we talk about next, and you get to kind of have a say on the final board, how it looks. So, yes, we want you to be a part of the discussion. Dun dun dun.
Huzzah. Alright, so Season 3, we already discussed it a bit last time. I mean, the board is very spread out. We don't tend to find that kind of spread.
Yeah.
So let's start with D. So I remember the first one is the first part. No.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. The first part of the invading the Gamma Quadrant episodes.
Is it though, or does he meet him earlier in the season?
This one where this is the one where he meets him.
Yeah, that's what makes him.
This is because that's the one where Garrick is going crazy because of the
Yes.
implant.
No, we liked that one though.
Yes, that one's higher.
Yes.
Yeah, this was the first one of the. I don't know. What is happening?
But there's no Garrick's pain. I'm confused by not necessarily our past selves, but also which ones. Okay, well, let's see what we do know. Okay, let's go reverse order because I think one of the more famous ones. Number S is the one where Kira's
Second
not
skin, I think.
Kira is not Kira.
Yeah.
But is she Kira? Is she not Kira? Obviously great. We sung its praises, even for this season. Great acting, toned down makeup as I recall, and the fact it lingers into later episodes. Great.
Yes.
I still maintain that's excellent. Good stuff.
Yes. And the next one is Equilibrium. That's the one where Jadzia's all our previous hosts she gets time to spend with them. It's a ritual. And so they inhabit the bodies of other people on the station, which is a great episode. Yes.
No, Equilibrium's not that one. Equilibrium's when she realizes she's got a murderous ex-host.
Oh.
Same but different. And in fact, they lead together because you need that one to go to the other one.
Yeah, what is this one then? It's
Facets, probably.
Oh, Facets, yes. Absolutely, yes. You're correct. Sorry, my bad.
Which is great. They've got season starting and ending, Jadzia past host stories.
Yes.
What an unusual thing. And evil Cisco is great. Very menacing, all in the eyes. The dancer. I mean, I think it's the first time I ever remember seeing Lita, because she has a role in it, right? Just being charming.
We don't have to do a recap of the reasons for the episodes here.
I'm remembering
them. Oh.
I'm just remembering because we're going to go in contrast, aren't we? Just remembering.
Oh, sure.
And Curzon's great. And the other one is what? Visionary, probably? Yes.
The two O'Briens.
Yeah.
Or the O'Brien
great.
jumping through time.
Yeah, that one's pretty... Oh, I'll do a poll. That one's pretty great.
It is. We'll get to your super chats in a minute, Classic. Thank you so much. And then we got Through the Looking Glass. Just a second Mirror Universe episode.
Better than the first, we thought.
Yes.
Although still not quite firing all cylinders. But B is still strong. I think B was great, but not great. You know what I mean?
Yes, sure. Because the next one in B is Heart of Stone, which is the female changeling founder lady. She's pretending to be Kira, and Kira's encased in stone. And she admits that she loves Odo, and that Odo, it's a whole thing. It's a cave episode.
Yes, she admits that she loves Odo.
Yes.
What was that called again, sorry?
Heart of Stone, I believe.
Oh, yeah, Heart of Stone, yes. Oh, that makes sense. Great performances, but the fact that we don't remember any of the small stuff, I guess was our reason.
Well, B's still good.
I mean, it's still great, yeah. Darn solid.
I got B because it set up so much going forward from this. So.
Yeah. No, and it's definitely an Odo, proper push him actor-wise piece. He's not doing any criminal stuff. He's not doing any... It's very unusual for him, and so I'm sure the actor really enjoyed it. And Nog is pretty satisfying in this one, for sure.
Yeah,
Good.
And Dave and Laura, we're just recapping what we had last time, and then we're going to get into today's.
Yes.
Next up, we got Explorers. I believe that's what it's called. Where Cisco builds the solar sailor ship, and him and Jake go on a little adventure, and Jake kind of confronts his dad and says, "Yo, bro, I don't want to be in no Starfleet. I want to be a writer."
Yeah. Fine, good, decent.
And it's the first goatee episode.
Yes, what a weird one to throw it on.
It kicks off the badass with a really chill episode.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely one that you could put on the background and just look at the odd dialogue bit, but not really pay attention. The ending's great. I have no memory of the B plot still, but a good then. Both episodes just not quite firing all cylinders. C, neither of us remembered properly. In Bashir's brain, I remembered it a lot more after we went through it. I'm not sure if I watched it, it might be a B because it was very creative, but I don't remember it enough to be higher than a C, is what we said.
Yeah, there was the guy that did the thing to him that was like draining his energy.
Yes.
Or whatever, yeah.
And then the 2Ds, which have we worked out which one they are?
Well, one's Meridian, which is the planet that shows up every 80 years.
Which I have not seen enough to ever comment on, so you gave it the D score?
Yeah, it's kind of a really forced love story for Jadzia.
Oh, yes.
Very strange.
Yeah.
And the other one, I can't remember the name of the other one. But yeah, it's the part one of that. Is it the Dies Cast?
I don't know if it is, though, because I feel like...
Or Improbable Cause.
No, maybe it is. If that's the Romulan then it must be. Because I think when we reviewed it, we were shocked that everything we liked was in part 2.
Yeah, like the auto torture and all that stuff. Yeah,
okay,
yeah, it was Improbable Cause. That's Improbable Cause that's there.
We were so excited when we started talking about it, and then we realized,
yeah,
there's some stuff that happens, and
yeah. Yeah, so anyway, now we're going to get into the rest of them.
All right, excellent.
Ooh. Where to kick off?
We'll start with an alley image to show what is possible, because I wanted to kind of show what we can do, because it's just meant to be something kind of fun, a little bit silly, and of course supports the channel, guys. So that was the reference picture. It's a different use case, and here is not quite what I asked for, but the fun is in what it can make. So I asked for TNG blue, didn't do that, did TNG com badge, but there you go. It's a slightly different uniform, the boxes are different symbol.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. In fact, that would be a hell of a motion comic still of, something else. So that's an example of being a bit silly, but that's a very effective use of something. So if you guys have something to show, we can give it a go. All right, where are we going then? In the realm of super chats and these.
The super chats. Classic for real, $50. $5 each for 10 episodes. Should be only 7 episodes left, which is 35. Who's going to chip in for 35? As for what episodes, the first 10 yet to be reviewed, mentioned in the live chat. Don't forget to chip in 30 for Sam's uniform. It's not an option today. Oh. And $5 to pump up or down.
Yes, he knows. He knows. But yeah, today's AI prompt edition.
Yeah. Classic for real, $5. Fine. Here's to make it 11 episodes. And then another $5. Oh. Remember that episode where Cal Hudson punches Ducat in the face and says, "I'm not Cisco"? Can Chat GPT review that episode? Chat GPT is not reviewing any goddamn thing. We are. We will do the images. I don't know if they saw the images, by the way. We're still in the thumbnail.
I was so into it and talking to you. All right, off we go again. Here's the image we made, and here is a reference image. Very, very good. Asked to make a TNG, didn't do it, but it's pretty cool, and it's really frickin' good considering everything's there but not. So if you want to see anything on an episode generated with a prompt, and I will attempt to make what you just said, Carl Hudson punching Cisco, I'll find a shot, see what happens. Thank you so much.
He punches Ducat, yeah.
Ducat, yes.
You say Cisco, yeah.
We just have to find a picture of them all together, which was this. No, it was last season, but it's okay. All right, I guess just pick some things and let's get discussing this one.
Sure, we're going to talk about this one first, which is one of my favorite episodes of season 3, at least. And that's Destiny. That's
the stripper that you met at the. Wait, no.
Her name was Veda. Oh. This is where there's 3 serpents that are supposed to be coming to the station. Like, there's a whole prophecy about this, the gates opening, the comet, whatever. Anyway, there's a prophecy that these snakes are going to come and destroy the wormhole, and there's a weird anomaly going on. So we got Cardassian scientists on board, and there's a lot of similarities as to match up with the prophecy. You got a hot female Cardassian scientist that's in Miles O'Brien, and he's like, I'm married, but thank you. I mean, it's
I've been married for 2 different TV shows. That's super married.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So yeah, this is a fun one, and I love the tie-in with the mythological aspect of it and the similarities that they're drawing, and it does match up quite a bit, and it's building the religion of the Bajoran people as to be something very meaningful, which there's a fine line between the aliens and the prophets and all that kind of stuff going on in Deep Space Nine. So the way things are lining up is quite interesting, and it almost results in the destruction of the wormhole. I can't remember the scientific thing that's going on, but they end up actually, I forget, did they send something back through the wormhole? I can't remember. Anyway, the result is really quite the opposite of what you'd expect for the whole episode, and it's really fun. I love seeing Cardassian scientists, just nice Cardassians. It's kind of great. So,
I see what happened. This is the same episode that the guy from Stargate appears, which is why he's in there.
Oh, well, he can go bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah, so I've met the lead scientist, who's actually not one of these two, the Falls for person, at a Stargate convention. She really liked this. I told the story last time about how she went to her car in the lot in full makeup because she was so comfortable with it that someone recognised her, noticed her and got freaked out. She was confused and realised, oh yes, I'm an alien right now, and she had a lot of fun with that because it was very freeing. This is super interesting. We've done a few of these where mostly every Cardassian sucks. Yeah, give or take. There's always an element of meh. But these 3 ladies are all reasonably pleasant with varying degrees, and it really shows you some... Okay, there's some nice ones who have a bit of humanity. The world itself is very racist. Whatever. Plus, like you say, the cleverness of the Stargate guy. 2 Stargates. The Stargate guy coming in with a prophecy, and then it can't be real, it can't be real. Well, it can be real if they interpret it a certain way. Yeah, but how do they know? Well, yeah, because they're non-linear aliens. Of course they can. It's not rocket science. But that's okay. So it's kind of a fun one.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it really helps to change the dynamic of the Cardassians in general.
Yeah.
Although, I don't remember the A plot. It's like everything's a B plot in this for me. Which is fine, just, if I recall correctly, this is the one and only use of the shuttlecraft where they grab an asteroid, and we built the shuttle for Trekyards. It was really hard to find reference because it's very, very small and annoying.
Yeah.
But this is a really cool shuttle.
Yes, Raj, 3 vipers.
Uh-huh.
I said 3 snakes, but same thing. So yeah, the prophecy is when the river wakes, stirred once more to Janar's side, 3 vipers will return to their nest in the sky. Yeah. And it goes on. There's more stuff in there, but yeah, it's really interesting the way it all kind of falls in line, and it gets to the point where even the scientifically minded of the Starfleet officers are like, "Is this actually a thing?" So
it was prophesized. So
yeah. I really enjoy this episode. That's what I'm saying.
All right, as requested by ChatGPT, Hudson Punch Ducat.
That's great.
Frickin' awesome Cardassian. That is so consistent. Although, why is Cisco from the Orville universe? It's like the exact same hue. I guess it remembered it from the previous one. So there you go. ChatGPT created. You could also create things this silly. Power's in your hands, guys. $5. Suggest one.
Yep. That's great.
That is great. Yeah, this one's good. This was definitely one of those ones where it's not the most... It's sort of a low-key episode in terms of big story, but it's a textural one with some interesting, unique plays. My gut would be a medium to high B.
Sure. I'm not gonna argue.
Okay. Because I feel like the O'Brien one is just a stronger episode, and the character work on the other one is stronger. But this is really high in the B. But the fact I don't remember a good chunk of it, versus the other two I remember very strongly. I mean, would you have an argument for A, or?
I would have put it in A personally, but I'm not gonna argue. B is fine.
Okay.
It's just one of my personal favorites, so I just.
Oh. Well, hey, vote now, guys. If you think you should dip into A, let us know.
Classic for real, $5. Also, ChatGPT, and you can quote unquote review the episode where O'Brien walks past Quarks and Tom Riker sticks out his leg and trips him and says, "I'm not Will."
Okay, I'll summarize that.
Bit of a stretch, but
let's see what can happen. All right, where are you going to take us next?
Well, we must talk about this episode, obviously.
Perfect.
And I believe it's called Defiant.
Yes.
Yes. Again, a fantastic episode. This one is really fun because it brings in Thomas Riker, who we met in TNG. And for a little while, he's posing as Riker. Hitting on Kira, doing all the Riker things. And it is the same guy. It's the same guy, right? So, and then there's the really weird and kind of strange standoff with O'Brien. Like, I'm not talking to O'Brien. He knows what he did. And it's like, O'Brien's like, what is happening right now? And then we get on to she shows him around the Defiant. He knocks her out and then takes off his sideburns to reveal that he's not our William Riker. He's Thomas Riker. And steals the Defiant to go into Cardassian space for the Maquis to take out some Cardassian ships. I love the ending with Cisco and Dukat in the Cardassian High Command. And you learn a little bit about Dukat. Like, my son, it's his birthday today, but all he'll remember is that the Federation took me away from him by having to be here. And you get a kind of a touching moment, I guess, learning something about Dukat. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. You never really know what Dukat. How many kids does he even have? Probably a lot, but that's fine. But yeah, they seeing them steal the Defiant and actually does quite a bit of damage in this episode as well. And then of course they talk Thomas Riker down and say, "Turn yourself in. We will give amnesty to all the other Maquis that are on the ship with you that helped you. You got to turn yourself in and go to Cardassian prison, and we'll never see you again. And turn over our ship because we don't want to destroy it."
Yeah, desperately needed a part 3 to the storyline, because it's a
great story. Kind
of gold.
A lot of great visuals and ship stuff as well. So, And of course, having Riker back is awesome.
Frakes, anyway.
That's what I meant to say.
Yes. You done?
For sure.
Okay. Yeah, this is definitely one of those 2 love letter to Defiant pieces. Similar to the one where they get stuck in the anomaly. Oh, there's actually 3. The one where they're chasing the changeling with the phasers and you see the whole set. We needed more of these in every Trek, crossing over. Now, obviously, there isn't that many transporter clones. Fair enough. But
not yet, anyway.
No, yeah.
After Lower Decks, there might be.
But it's probably the most ingenious ways of doing this sort of story. It is our Riker, full fun. A natural chemistry with Kira that you wouldn't see coming necessarily. Like, Dax would make more sense. Whatever.
The question is, would she see it coming?
Depends if his bid's on or not. A great setup. I mean, you can't know it's not our Riker. They play it absolutely close to the chest. And then removing the beard pieces for a goatee is like the cleverest, stupidest visual real gag you possibly have done. And then his balance here is so remarkable because you never think in the episode you're watching William T. After this, he fully zones in on this other character that you're never thinking, that's a hell of a performance, because he's the same man, but he's lived enough different things. He obviously sides with the Maquis in such a fundamental way to risk everything. But it's not our Riker, but it is our Riker. It's really, really well acted by him. And he is sort of right in the abstract. The mission they're doing to get the weapon thing, just like the other guy, is true. They just are happy to kill as many people. Although it's also a bit of an OP situation, like Intimate Darkly. Defiant goes against anybody, it wins at this point. But also you need to see that to kind of set up for the future, because it just wrecks shop. Very few space shots. This was pre-CGI space shots. They had no CG model yet, so there's a lot of on-screen graphics, which is fine for pacing, but they could have done with some more of that, but we were 4 years too early, right? The fact that we've got there's a direct tie-in with the actors who are in the previous Monkey episodes is excellent. And yeah, seeing Ducat and Cisco is really refreshing and interesting and different. I'm sad that they became all Dominion-y, because that was really interesting, those sorts of episodes. The writing's great, pacing's great, and the fact it's pretty much massacring people is quite dramatic. But then he Rikers at the end and sacrifices himself to save the rest of the crew, although it is kind of surprising, hard to believe that the Cardassians would let the Defiant go. Oh no, we happened to destroy it.
Yeah.
Oh no, we happened to disable it. Like, maybe a year later they wouldn't have, but a lot of carnage just happened, and you think they would, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad that, they didn't destroy the Defiant. I'm sure Cisco was concerned about that as well, so it's all fine. Yeah, good episode. I think for this season, it's absolutely an S. Just because it's awesome.
Yes, I would agree. I think this is such... It's not just ship porn, because that isn't that much. It's really cleverly done crossover. And having Kira be the lead, and given that she's the ex-terrorist, and they're doing what she wanted to do, but she's actively stopping them, is such a growth for her. And it feels so earned and earnest. Yes, this is absolutely excellent. And I think it would be also, in all of all DS9, at least be an A. I think this has basically nothing wrong with it of any kind, and lots of special moments to all of DS9. So, yeah. Excellent one.
Excellent. All right.
Wonderful.
Next up, I'm just going to pull in...
Yeah, random ones are good.
Life support.
Is that what it's called?
Yes. This is the one where
Shakir O'Neal? What?
No, that's... What's his name? Vedic Barile.
Yes.
He gets injured, but he's got to do these negotiations. Kai Wynn wants to step in, but she doesn't want to step in. She wants him to do it, much to his detriment, because he's dying. They're basically keeping him alive for this, and the longer they do it, the more he's going to suffer. I can't remember what injured him.
But isn't it such that because of that, he basically becomes a vegetable at the end? Like, he's out of the series forever? Until
he dies. He's dead.
Yeah, until Miriam shows up, and that's the payoff to that.
Yeah, he dies at the end of this one. He actually dies at the beginning of it, but they keep him alive. Like, they bring him back to life and kind of keep him... Yeah, it's fucked up. And there's also... The B-plot is with Jake and Nog, and there's a girl, and we find out how Nog treats women, and it goes on a double date with Jake and this girl, and... Yeah, it kind of causes some friction between those two, so...
I mean, but honestly, I side with Nog. The fact that they're wearing clothes and being independent is just bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a much better place if they're all naked and just doing whatever. Pretty ladies, too. Cool alien. Very gentle.
Yeah.
So conceptually, I remember all of this, but textually, I remember none of this. Maybe it's just because it's full Bajoran. Doesn't leave any impression. Although, yeah, I remember the end being dramatic. I remember this is his end. But it's pretty standard fare. It doesn't feel anything special.
Yeah.
But with good drama, but not my cup of tea in terms of these people. But certainly higher than D, because I know it was a good episode, just not one that I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would say it's a C.
Yes.
There's a lot of good stuff with Wynn. Can't call her Kai Wynn because she's not Kai yet.
Well, setting up she's a bitch, but with some greater good. We've got to do it for good. Like, there's a reason she's being a bitch in this one.
Yes, it shows her the manipulation that she's capable of. She seems to care for him, but at the same time, these negotiations have to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a good reason, even if #death. But speaking of #death, as Stuart finishes to move that, I'll reveal I did 2 iterations because they got the costume wrong. But yes, we've now successfully achieved a brand new part of the Defiant episode.
Excellent. Thanks, Classic for real. Let's see this.
The famous part where Riker, of course, trips up Quark.
No, he's supposed to trip O'Brien.
Well, this is funner, so there you go. There you go. Riker tripping Quark. And again, very impressive effort by ChatGPT. Everything about that is understandable.
That's great.
I'll put the first version as well because it'll take a couple minutes to make. And this was great because I was able to submit 2 images and say summarize them as one. But I was very impressed in the first one of how well they achieved Quark's bar just with a single reference shot. That was pretty... I mean, everything else is worse, but like... Guys, don't just be classic like Dan Ben or Raj, or like put in some fun ideas because this is some fun stuff.
All right, Classic for real, $5. Make ChatGPT have Kai Virile.
He's virile?
It's Vedic Virile. Punch Vedic Win in the face and say you're not Kai.
Okay. You can have the text bubble yourself, guys. I don't think I like text, but yeah, let's do the Virile versus Win. Alright, takes a new episode placed it. Let's see what's happening.
Yeah, I gotta decide on one. I don't know yet. Hold on. Give me a second.
Yes.
I'm having an issue.
Oh no. Some good ones left, guys. Some good ones left.
Okay. Let's just get it out of the way. Shakaar. I'm pulling all the Bajoran ones, and I wasn't a big Bajoran fan originally, but they're way better on a rewatch. So Shakaar, this is another one where, well, first of all, Kira and him kind of form a relationship here, and really nice guy. They need him for a thing. There's a lot of on the planet stuff with her old rebel people. The guy with one arm who dies later, the lady who dies later. Oh, spoilers! They die in the later season. But yes, there's a lot of, again, Vedic Win being a bit of a bitch in this episode. And trying to remember what the B plot. Oh yes, the Vulcan that comes in and is a bit of an asshole. He's challenges Chief O'Brien to a game of darts. Chief's fucked up his arm though.
Yeah. Which episode is this, by the way?
It is called Shakaar.
Oh. Shakaar! 2 A's. Shakaar when the walls fell. I think.
But yeah, there's a dart tournament going on, and Quark's got money on O'Brien, and it's like take care of that arm, O'Brien, and something happens to O'Brien's arm, and yeah, it's pretty great. The Bajoran stuff is kind of forgettable, honestly, but if you care about that stuff and care about Kira, it's a good story for her, because you hear a lot of their exploits during the war when they're hanging out and just chatting.
As I'm scrolling, I'm recalling, I feel like this was their way of sort of slowly coming to an end of the Bajoran plot by giving them a big episode. You know, having that many militia on a location, right? It's a big testament. And I will say, I think I said this last time as well, we just reviewed TNG, of course, and I noted, once they complained, that a lot of their location work felt either repetitive or cheap. These exteriors at the end look great. Good location, well filmed, looks different, really effective. If they had movie cameras, it'd look like a feature film. So yeah, as I scroll this, again, really doesn't ring any bells, except the guy and gal Bajoran friends. Are they in a later episode? Because I remember them both very strongly. I don't know if it's just
they get killed.
In a later
They're on
episode.
a list. Yeah.
Okay, good.
They
yeah.
somebody's after Kira. They show up on the station in her quarters, and then eventually they get killed.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got one arm because he lost his arm in the war.
Yeah, because I remember them strongly. And this is the guy, as you said last time, who was in the other episode, who was the martyr guy who then said, F it, I'm leaving. So good payoff to that. I like the stern-looking Vulcan. That's pretty great. Just don't go against a Vulcan. Because that is a butch-looking, strong Vulcan. I mean, that uniform's pretty big. And if they're setting up a villain, these episodes are great. You just need you sprinkling Kai or just win throughout, just being a bit of a Grinch. And considering this is end of 3, and then she'll be fire caves, yelling, half naked at the end. What a journey for this woman! Goodness.
Yeah, because it's the Bajoran militia that's doing something, and then Kira has to be a rebel again against her own people.
Yep.
And it's all because of Wynn. Yeah.
Which is a very logical extension of her. Like she's found the side.
Yeah.
And they're trying to keep the government doing its thing. Gosh, you're so young. They all are.
It's an episode that doesn't do much for me. It is memorable for a few different reasons, especially the introduction of her friends from the war and things like that. And some really good comedic moments with Quark and O'Brien. The B story I find more interesting than the main story, but it also sets up the Shakaar romance, which kind of derails the Odo. That's great. Derails the Odo thing for a while, and then once she realizes that Odo has feelings for her, she just dumps Shakaar. It's fine, because he's a big part until he's not. Then he just leaves the show. So
there you go, classic. Really great recreation of the costumes, at least. I don't know why she's got glasses. Yeah.
It's pretty great.
We're making dreams come true, guys. Dreams come true.
So for me, it's probably a C, as it's well written, it's well done, and it's got a lot of political drama going on, and very good Kai, very good Wynn stuff. But yeah, it's not super memorable for me personally. It doesn't deserve a D, I don't think. I think it's better written than that. So.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely textural stuff, but as Trekyards, obviously we are biased in that regard, and us reviewing it as well. There's not very much for us to get excited about. And also lore stuff. We know that the Bajoran stuff sort of goes into the back burner for a bit as Dominion really gets interesting. So even if this is a satisfying payoff to a less interesting story, yes, I would say C, because I don't remember the writing being like amazing, whereas the writing in B's are definitely Connie.
Oh, I said, I think when I said good writing, I meant like the interpersonal relationship with Kira's friends are really well done, hearing their stories. And the Shakaar romance setup thing is really, like, he's a good actor. I really like watching him on screen. So.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, political stuff I'm not big into, but I understand why a lot of people really like these episodes, so.
Those always felt very low stakes to me, Bajoran stuff. It's a hyper low tier planet doing hyper low tier things that happen to have real gods. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Marco, $5. Chat GPT task. Wayun, Brent, and Shran meet in Quark's bar. Sounds like a setup for a joke. And Wayun looks perplexed with how the founders updated the cloning process of his. Of his what? Or of his? I don't know. I don't know if it got cut off there, or if there was more, or if that's exactly what it's supposed to be. I don't know. Anyway, it's fine.
All right, let's give it a go.
All right, do you want to pick the next one?
Absolutely. While we let that think about it. Okay, let's bring in. Let's actually go right to the start. Let's go Defiant part or the Search part 1. The introduction of the Defiant, which is a huge moment. This obviously comes after the end of last season where we had a Galaxy class, some runabouts. Galaxy class goes kablooey, but we still have runabouts. And everyone realised That ain't gonna be enough to fight this new threat. Oh dear! And so, I will say, very bold two-parter. In that, against better judgment, they say, right, let's have this new ship, Defiant. Cisco designed her in the off year, in the summer holidays, because the way he tells it, he's so in the design process. I guess he's just been off station for 6 months. I don't know, whatever.
And he's been out for a few months, yeah.
Yeah. And now there's a Seska's there, another Seska, Romulan Seska. Cloaking device undefined. Introduction of the human security guard, who then also plays in later. That is that guy. Yep. So he's Eddington. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Yeah. Eddington.
Yeah. Eddington is introduced. Yeah.
And yeah, Defiant, great set, and Odo insists on going. Also finds people, etc. Then they they do some very slow maneuver stuff. Very build the tension. Realize that everyone's sort of subservient to the Dominion. You get some good texture of, we're all paying fees because we have to get to them. Much harder than it's later, when they have to fly and find bug ships anywhere. That's okay. Then they all get attacked pretty brutally. They mess up the new set pretty brutally. Everyone runs away pretty brutally. And then we end on Odo's people, which in retrospect is pretty obvious they're linked. Oh, is this really random to find them?
Yeah.
And as far as we know, it's a bad day. We try and be peaceful, and they brutally, everyone gets hurt. Shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I think I enjoy it more than part 2. He says he's
yes.
Look at him separately.
I think so too. I mean, I would agree with that. Yeah, the opening of there's something weird going on with the pylon, what's out there, and they get the ship to cloak.
Yeah.
Love that. They tried something new with Jedzia's hair as well in this one, which didn't stick.
It looks very TOS, but not. Yeah. It doesn't suit her.
Yeah. Love the introduction of a Romulan that has to be monitoring the cloaking device, which doesn't last at all, which would have been great. Would have been great to have her involved with this from here on out. It would have been good to explore like a Romulan character living on the station, having to deal with humans. Is she kind of like Garrick? Is she doing spy stuff for her? Obviously, she probably would be. But anyway, yeah. And then going to the Gamma Quadrant to get their asses kicked. Then we find out that Odo saved Kira in a shuttle to go do their thing, and she's like, "What about everybody else?" And it's like, "Oh, last I saw that they were in escape pods or whatever." It's a pretty shitty end of situation, and it's like, what the fuck is going to happen in part 2? And part 2 is quite shocking as well, the reveal. But
next time on Trekyards, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun episode, and I do really enjoy this one. It's a good kickoff to season 3 and kind of the badass elements of Deep Space Nine coming in. So,
as I said, it's bold. It's literally a new direction, and it's a clever play that we are going to go in and try and take on the problem head first with diplomacy. Although diplomacy with the warship is a bit ironic as well, of course. But that's okay.
Going to peace talks, just carry a big walking stick, just in case.
For sure. I think the pace... It's a weird two-parter. I think the pace is probably a little bit too slow when you compare to the weird pace of part 2. If this was consistent with the second part, I'd like it more. They are not the same episode. They're very different in tone and pace. So this one, probably a little bit too slow. A little bit too much setup. I like the fact that it's... The trade stuff is good, but not that good. And the fact that Odo is being sort of summoned, he can't get away from it. It's kind of mildly creepy the whole time. And of course, not Zephyr Cochrane returns. Same actor. And then the end is definitely big. Reminds me of the Breen episode. But yeah, 3 seasons in, Founders, I think the effects still hold up really well. No issue. They look great. And yeah, a hell of a way to start a season. I don't know, is there any cherries on top? Because for some reason it doesn't quite...
The Defiant, for fuck's sakes, is the cherry of all cherries.
Yes. But do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't do anything excellent. Like, there's lots of interesting swings, but none work 100%. Unless you're defining the Defiant set as being excellent because it's in this episode first, which case obviously, but like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think? How are you feeling?
For me, it's probably an A. I think it is better than part 2, if I recall correctly. But yeah, it's a good way to kick off the season, and I love that it's just months later. Cisco's been off the station for a while. They're talking about it, and then I just love the way it starts with the weird anomaly around one of the upper pylons, and it's the goddamn Federation ship. It's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, imagine at the time without any precursor to this. It's like, what? I think A is good. I think it there's something genius about the top S's. This is not quite, you know. It's close. Yeah.
Step in the right direction.
Oh hell yeah, 100%. And it's definitely really enjoyable to watch. I just think it's trying to do 2 different stories, Odo and them, and then combine them with a harsh left turn. Alright, let's throw in another interesting one, guys. Super chat if you want to jump one ahead of the queue, we would love that as well.
We got a new super chat in from
Excellent.
Ralston S. Bailey, $5. Chat GPT task. Odo and Worf. Well, Worf isn't in this season, so are we going to allow that?
He can be a visitor. So in TNG,
we're going to be strict on the rules about what they can do. It's got to be season 3.
Okay, restate with other different. Well, I guess Riker.
Let's see. Odo and Worf, both in their standard uniform, doing the twist, facing each other, dancing on a counter at Park's bar.
Okay, Royston, for $1, we'll shift the rule base so season whatever can exist. Or Riker's fine, because he's in the season. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode, I don't remember what it's called. This is the one with the really smug Goldu Cup because this is a sabotage system in the DS9's got a safety protocol, activates, locks the whole station, alerts him because he set it.
Civil defense.
And he comes in, turns out it's way clever than he is, and he can't deactivate it. But he can't kill him. So it's kind of like a Die Hard in a station, in a sense. And a very good bottle show concept. And like I said, I like the twist that he's not actually in control, but he can do stuff they can't do.
Well, yeah.
What do you remember?
Yeah, this is a fantastic episode. It's really fun. Got some really great character moments, especially from Garrick and Dukat. Because there's a smugness to Garrick and a smarminess from Garrick that just plays so well together. And Dukat, very arrogant until he's not, because the program's not listening to him. The program assumes that the Bajoran workers have taken control.
Bloody Bajorans.
And done some fuckery, so it's not going to listen to Dukat either. And getting this whole station locked down, having Dukat be able to beam aboard and kind of do a few things at first, is just it's fun. There's some really great character moments for sure. Also some darker stuff. There's plasma fires and a whole bunch of stuff going on down in the old mines, the core, or whatever the hell it's called. It's a fun episode, and it is like a Die Hard episode.
Just enough.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of the others, like the Cisco and stuff that are in the other part of the station. I really remember the command center stuff with Dukat and Garrick. It's really great.
Yeah, it's a very clever, simple concept with a fun twist, and I just remember the visuals keenly of Dukat just walking around with weapons fire, with that just such smugness. Because on set, they're not seeing anything, but you add the phaser fire, and it just becomes a little bit extra snazzy, and it shows that Classian arrogance within arrogance is actually their undoing. Well, obviously it doesn't work anymore because this. I like it. I don't think it's necessarily amazing, but it's a really good bottle show that also keeps Dukat in the series so regularly, but not quite as a foil, because I like him when he's not the foil. He's not two-dimensional, of course, but he's just like, he's a baddie. He gets to be everything but.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
This one I'd probably give a B personally.
Yeah, I'd say mid to high B. It's more fun than the other stuff in B, I would say. But yeah, I also can't remember the B plot. B plot. Yeah.
I think there is a B plot in this one.
You're right, it's the fires because they, can't get out because...
Well, that's all part of the A plot, though. That is the very cause of the...
A multi-layered A plot, then. But we do have our next wonderfully suggested image. Harder for it to achieve, but as you said, Wayun, Brunt, meet in a bar.
Looks like we got our Brunt from Wish and our Quark from Timu.
And Andorian Tran is losing his hair. But I mean, you can tell it's a Vorta, Andorian, and a Ferengi, and that's a pretty good Ferengi. Great costume detail.
It's pretty great, yeah.
And you can see this is where we are. Like, I'm fine with not being photoreal because that, like, if we were doing a motion comic, that's a very happy image, for this whole thing. Mm-hmm. So there you go. The next one's being created right now. We did go to Wharf because we love you guys. Submit some more. Just add some fun to the DS9. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed, Marco. You're welcome. Take a screen cap.
All right.
Very nice.
What can be next? We haven't done the search part 2, have we?
No, but we could.
But which is the image for it? That's the question. Is it the one at the bottom there?
Yes, the two changelings. I mean, there's two changelings, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
They be melding. Okay, part 2. What do you remember about this one? And I'll skim and see how I feel.
This they end up going back to the station. Nechayev is there. They're going, and we also have a Vorta who's like, we're going to be making a deal with you guys.
Friends.
Yes, there's a whole thing going on. Not should we trust them? Probably not.
Probably not.
We also got a lot of shit with Odo and Kira that I don't really care about. Where he's learning about his people. It's fine, but yeah, and it turns out to be an illusion. They've all been captured. They are all in this one simulation to see how the Federation would react to the Dominion going over there and finding out that the Federation is actually quite violent.
Well, they'll react.
Yes, and the way that they kind of just get, you're free to go, it always bothered me because they had them. They could have learned a lot more, and they just, because Odo says, "Can you let them go?" It's like, yeah, okay, sure. It's like, okay, well, it's like you have a little bit of a trump card in Odo now, so
it's like if we hard cutted to female changeling who's her skin's falling off. It's like, I wish young me had not let them go and just killed them. It would save me all this trouble.
Yes.
Because really, this is their hue. They didn't genocide humans at this point.
Yeah.
Had they just killed all the bridge crew, they would have won the war. Maybe no war at all, right?
Yeah. I just remember how shocking it was to learn that all the events of the episode never happened, except for the Odo stuff. And yeah, the Defiant was still fine apparently after the battle. That's the other thing that bothered me, because the Defiant was fucked up, and so much so they launched escape pods, and then they just get the Defiant back.
I mean, it repairs over weeks.
It's got reparative hull armor instead of ablative.
Well, we never see it. We never see it in the end of the episode. It's just okay enough to take them home, but that could just be warp 1, right? Yeah, this one's weird for obvious reasons. It has a similar vibe to the O'Brien. He's in the wrong. Everyone else is.
Yeah.
It tonally, because it's a great what if. Yes, but also you can sort of believe it in the abstract that yes, Dominion are so powerful, they're so ridiculous that the Federation would agree to maybe not war with them. But to see how far they went gives it away a bit. And Nechayev is fantastic in this one. I think it's her last performance as well, which is kind of weird, so not really her. But the fact that they say, we lose this ability, we're giving all of our freedoms away to them to have peace. how far would they go, etc. with the full surrender. But there's a lot of when you watch it without knowing the twist, the stuff on the station is 10 times more important than Odo's stuff. If not 20 times. The Odo stuff's interesting, but it's a C plot. When in terms of the episode, it's the twist that pulls it all together. But then it then instantly devalues, in a sense, everything you've just watched, and then you realise the Odo stuff's the more important, but it was so low key that it wasn't very exciting. That said, then Kira's bit then becomes really intriguing, in her dealing with losing Odo, and I like the fact that everyone in their fake illusion is bullshit, except those that stayed with them. There's a distinct definition between those that have their own brains and those. And the Romulan lady is like, "Why is it stupid in here? You all are stupid." It's like, "Oh, I think she's one of us. I hate you all." Yep, she's one of us. It's fun, right? It is fun, but it doesn't quite come together. I think probably the point, but it doesn't quite. Something about it.
Just a few unanswered questions at the end for me that kind of bother me, like the Defiant status and stuff like that. But
I think just to have such... I mean, it's already 4 episodes into, narratively wise, but you need everything in this to set up the stakes. You need to set up the fact that Dominion are bastards, and also they're aliens with their own individuality, right? That dichotomy. So I think this one is super important. Should have been done better. Could have been done better. Not sure how. Maybe a 3-parter, and cut the stuff up a bit more. I don't know, because it's all just a bit.
For me, it's a B. I'd rather watch it more than anything in C.
Yes. I would rather watch parts of this than some of B, but overall, I think everything in B is a better episode.
Yes.
Than this.
Low B.
But it's got. I mean, the twist is great. You don't see it coming. It is really well done. Yeah. Oh yeah, Barry, 100%. But they're all a giant goo pile. They can afford to sacrifice a couple of goo people. But we've got the next ChatGPT done. Worf and Odo dancing in quarks.
They're even doing the twist. Holy shit.
As requested.
That's really well done.
Because even if faces aren't perfect, that's an insanely good TNG Worf uniform. That absolutely is Quarks, hands down. And with a bit of tweaking, that Odo's costume. And we're not overloading it. I love it.
That's fantastic.
And keep in mind, guys, even though DS9 Season 3 is the premise, you could throw in a TOS character if you want. Oh, they visited this episode of DS9 and like force a still from an episode and say, add this, right? As long as it's in Season 3, you can have a bit of fun with it. I did do something recently with the Borg Queen. So if you want to throw a Borg Queen next to the... Oh my god. Okay, somebody put in $5 to have the Borg Queen assimilating the Changeling founder lady in a screen cap. That'd be cool. But not classic, 'cause he does everything. Someone else. There we go. Well done, guys.
Cool.
Let me do a brief zoom in so you can see the details, because you guys put in some money for it. There you go. That's a close-up. Awesome.
The faces aren't bad. Worf looks like Worf. Odo looks like Odo's just perfected the way of making a face a little bit better.
He looks like more like a model.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still fantastic. Yeah. Klingons don't dance. You don't know. Weston's lolling. Good. Or lemurring. Good stuff. All right, let me bring one in. Again,
I was going to.
Let me do. Sorry. We're saying classics set. Let's go. Let's do the other 2-part. And now the conclusion of the these side by side. This is Dyer's cast, proving that the Alpha Quadrant is a bit untrustworthy, because they tested us, and their test for these guys is letting them blow up our fake planet. Because yes, part 2, way more money, way more creative ambition. Cardassians, well, specifically the Obsidian Order and Tal Shiar have teamed up. They've given cloaks to everybody. They brought Dad out of retirement. We have a very well played Romulan who's actually a changeling, who plays it close to the chest but is good. And they go on the warpath to the Founder homeworld, which I believe was the Founder homeworld, and they evacuate and let them bomb it. Yeah. Like, that is the one that you see. from episode 2 because episode 1, 2 because that's where they find it from. So it's very much a we'll let them kill our planet, which is a bold move, but they're a goo pile, whatever. However, you get the second part of the story, which is Odo's torture with incredibly horrible makeup that's absolutely fantastic. And Garrick being, I mean, surely unredeemable.
Yep. But not.
But not, because he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it, but it is. It's not quite the same as the TNG one, but it's because we know them both. It's really brutal.
Yeah, but Odo understands Garrick's character, and Garrick is trying to impress both Elam, and also then he feels bad for Odo.
Yeah.
So he's trying to straddle that line to the point where he's like, just tell me something, Odo.
Yeah, it's. I get it. You get it, but it does make it nice. And a big battle. It's what we've never seen before, we'll never see again. Really good sets, like a full set. It's cool. And they actually obliterate the Obsidian Order and the Tal Shiar in one swoop, and they are obliterated for the next, 4, 5, 6 years, pretty much. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great episode. The tortures, I don't mind the torture in this one as much because I know Garrick doesn't want to do it. He's not relishing in it like the Cardassian from Chain of Command. Good edited moments as well. He's like, you can trust me, sir. And Sisko's like, why? Because I gave you my word. And Sisko like, I've never not taken a Starfleet officer at his word. I think that's one of the reasons that Sisko gets so mad at himself later, because he put all his faith in Eddington and trusted him. But no, fantastic battle at the end. Definitely some good character moments for Odo and Garrick, to the point where Odo admits that he wants nothing more than to go back to his people. And at the end, he asks Garrick, please don't tell anybody that I said that. So they have a kind of a mutual understanding at the end. But yes, the betrayal and just the massacre of all these Cardassian and Romulan ships is really great. Again, this is another one like the last one, the Search Part 2, where it's like the ending seems a little bit contrived, that they could get away the way they did and not get destroyed. But yeah.
Does it come together? I'll say that.
It does, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And there's enough ambiguity at the end where it's like, did he survive? Did Elam or Nabrantane, whatever the hell his name is, did he survive? Yeah. Could he have survived that? Like, it's really well done. But for them to get away on like a runabout, Odo and
is it a runabout? I guess it's the one they came in, I suppose. Yeah.
And get back to the wormhole. I mean, well, sure, the Defiant's there.
Yeah,
but not that they can dock. They'd have to like still go back with the runabout. Anyway,
I mean, not to be pedantic.
Too late.
But if this was a Trek Shorts, then you could use the emergency cockpit separation bolt ejection of the runabout and then dock that in the because that would scale well. You could do it. I'm sure you could do it, right? All the tech exists. Do it in the shuttle bay, but they haven't invented the shuttle bay yet. Nor can them all do anything like I just said. It should be able to, but you never see it. No, this is really cool as an episode. It's very creative. It feels really expensive, like properly expensive, unlike the last one, because half of it is just torture scenes, but they're so well done. I love we see a TNG Admiral uniform. Nice to see. Classic uniforms, always fun to be represented. Defiant doing. I mean, this is probably like one of the only times this season. Like, we've got to go back. Like, we got tortured at that planet. We're gonna go back again. This time we're better. We like big risk for them, of course. And yeah, such a fun insight into Tal Shiar and the Obsidian Order, because you know so little. And yeah, the battle is like almost the quality of what we get later, and that's all miniatures. That's them really like having to do it properly. So what do you think? I don't think it works 100% because you need part 1, but by itself as a fun bit of Trek, it's like, yeah, there's so much cool stuff here. What do you think, though?
I honestly think it's S-worthy for this season.
For this season,
Yes.
there's so much going on. Yeah, I think I would agree. The scale is so
Like
big.
for rewatchability, it's right up there with the other two in S for sure. So yeah, and we do base them on season. So
yeah, and the twist at the end of the guy being a shapeshifter and letting Odo escape because they can't kill fellow shapeshifters is a fun double payoff. It's like they're always doomed. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'll pull in the one that I was going to pull in.
Yeah.
Ozzy throws in $5. Worf wants ramming speed.
Okay, I will do something with that.
Not sure he necessarily wanted you to, but sure, go for it.
Oh, I did a funny one while people were oh, hey, yeah, excellent. That's a themed. I turned the image into this for lols.
I love that. That's great.
Well, it's kind of a Stranger Worlds uniform for.
Yeah. They're like 93% of the way there for their likenesses, each of them.
Well, it's the legally distinct versions of them versus the actual likeness.
Yeah.
But I gave an example of a TOS dress uniform to try and help. And I could refine that with more prompts, but I gave them this image as the baseline. And so you see it has got the personality of Dax. And the hair carried over. I wasn't expecting the hair to be pulled over. And even the bloody coffee... that's a higher detail coffee mug and cups than the bloody episode shot. That was great. And we've talked about how hands are hard to do in Trek. Those hands are great. I mean, his facial hair and his hands aren't great, but those are... Yeah.
That is really good, yeah.
Wow. Fun stuff.
Well, it's a good segue into the one that I want to talk about, which is Equilibrium. This is the one where Jadzia starts out playing a little note on the piano, a little tune, and it gets stuck in her head.
Doesn't stop.
Feels like she's going crazy. So they take her to the Trill whatever Foundation, whatever, to find out what's wrong. And there's a whole web that they've woven around this past host that they're trying to hide from her, and they have to unravel the mystery. And turns out, yeah, she in fact isn't remembering one of her former hosts because he was a killer. So she goes into the pools, she meets him and like talks to him, and has to integrate that into her consciousness and deal with the memories. Yeah.
Which one's this one called?
Equilibrium. And it ends the same way it started. Her playing the piano with the little keyboard thing.
Yeah, this one's a really bold episode. It just tonally in the way it plays. Great for the actress. I mean, Terry was obviously just running the show in terms of like just acting the shit out of people, which is amazing. But it's very much like the Doctor Who Anniversary with the War Doctor. Let's introduce a brand new Doctor and give a convoluted reason to why they're not there.
Yeah.
Because to suppress, and just the concept of suppressing one body, one mind, is interesting. That said, of course, she did just symbiote meld with the guy last season, and that has no effects. I guess that's to be more permanent, but whatever. But yeah, to have her break her brain and piss off Cisco is just fun to watch. It's just entertaining and fun, and it's a good melody, which is nice. And then the artistry of seeing the faceless guy and the mystery is really interesting for sure. And the fact that she does, you genuinely think that she could be dying from this because her brain is literally melting. The discombination of the symbiote is rejecting her, rejecting it, and it's like this really obscure thing that Trill have. Because you don't want Trill murderers. But he was a crazy guy, but he was a crazy talented guy. It's a really interesting story. It's just, he's had some instability. He shouldn't have been a host. It was a mistake. Did he do some bad stuff? Yes. Was he genius? Yes. And the fact that it embraces at the end is sweet in a weird way, but it actually has some real heart to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it plays out later in facets because this guy goes into Cisco, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, it's really... Yeah. And it's all about accepting yourself, even parts you didn't know. Yeah, but Judge is really good in it. Everyone's really good in this, and it's a really nice textural piece that adds to the lore. So for this, I would say strong B, maybe A, but that's just because the performances are so interesting and the story's so interesting. But that's
high B for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely one that I can see myself watching for fun because it's so interesting and different, you know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked this picture for you.
You picked a picture for me. What?
Picked that one for you. I thought you might like it.
Oh, thanks.
Oh. All right, now have Worf's ramming speed picture done. I brought a picture of him from season 4, and I said with a phrase, Worf wants ramming speed.
Oh, that's great.
There you go, Ozzy. Worf wants ramming speed. That's a good looking TNG uniform. It's real good. And even got Stuart. Even ChatGPT what fucking Warp looks like. Discovery can't do it. They could do it. Good job, guys.
Yep.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Well, no F so far. We just slammed in the A's, S's, and B's. Are there any F's? Do you guys have any F's you want to put in? Let us know. But where are we going next? Putting a holder. Yeah. Fair.
Wish I knew the name of the episode that I was looking at so I could...
Yeah. So true. Should we look at the two-parter next?
If you want, sure.
Yes, your favourite, of course. So the first part is Future Tense? No, that's Voyager. Future... Past Tense! Oh, so close. So part 1. They're around Earth. They beam through a cloud. End up in the past. Or the backlot of CBS or whatever. Missing comm badges because they fell. Picked up by some good character actors. And they get a very specific look at the past, which is our future, which, boy, had Picard Season 3 utilised in any goddamn way, or Season 2, could have been absolutely incredible. You know, go back
Sanctuary
into
districts.
Yeah, had they gone into his episodes and told a new story, it would have been amazing. Very prescient, very sad. The future aesthetic they create for Jadzia, none of it works very well. It all feels like cheap RoboCop, unfortunately.
Yes.
But he's charming enough. And the message is good. Does it get a bit anal and full on with the message? Yes. But, I mean, they went full on. They committed, right? And that's kind of... Right? That's what they were going for. Luckily, it's a decent story with some good character actors and a good twist. So it all helps. Is it my favourite two-parter? No. Is this part interesting? Yes. When does it end? With, Gabriel Bell getting killed and him saying he's Gabriel Bell is certainly a bold, screw you time travel.
Yeah.
Because, boy, he ain't Bell.
Yeah, I mean, scrubbing through it real quick, there's not a whole, like the beginning part for me is the most interesting, where it's like they arrive at Earth, they got to do a thing, and something happens. I can't remember exactly. They beam down and they just disappear.
Well, they haven't got papers, so when they called by the police, they're put in the
I know, but I'm saying when they beam down, there's something that Quark was smuggling on board that fucked with the transporter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, it's just a particle. The Defiant generates a particle thing in the atmosphere, which they beam through teleports. Real basic, real,
So that's interesting to me, but that only lasts like 2 minutes. The rest I find very boring. I'm not a big fan of this episode. I don't like seeing the down and gritty kind of impoverished people and all that. That's the point. I get it. But it's just not super exciting for me. I like the historical implications that are going on. And yeah, like you said, the Jadzia stuff feels very just odd. Let's put it that way. The guy's a little odd. The whole future aspect is, although they have some great character actors. The lady at the office, the black lady, the one guard who's in like Gremlins and everything. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. They talk about him in Red Letter Media all the time.
Yeah. I mean, they're all good. They generally have a very good guest cast.
Yeah.
Very textural.
Clint Howard, I think, but he's in the second one.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating one for me as well, because it's like they're trying to go through all this paperwork at this office. It's frustrating. It feels like a goddamn nightmare. It's a good episode, but it's not very enjoyable for me.
I'm sure it's really great fun to film because you're not in the normal sets. But I just think, like I said, the disparity between the great rundown sets of Cisco and the cheap looking expensive stuff, I would have liked to see more lavish. They did not commit to both. But I like stuff like, they're eating rations and it's basically nothing, and it's so there's some interesting stuff. Well, I always like them in uniform. When they go out of uniform, it just looks like any other drama, because period piece, right?
Yeah.
And Chetia with a peacock feather and a pear for no reason, or whatever. Well, because arty.
Yeah, I prefer part 2 personally, because there's a little bit more going on. But part 1's fine.
Well, it's less dark though. It's more set up. You get to have more. Yeah. Part 2 is far more just in the building, doing building things. At least this has some textual stuff, and I don't know. We'll see if part 2 comes up. Talk about that.
Yeah.
Like I say, this could have been improved by Picard season 2. They could have just added something else to this.
Yes.
It's clever. I mean, it's got to be at least a B, right? Because it's B quality and it's not B enjoyment.
I'm just looking at the stuff in B&A to see where it would fall for me.
Because I prefer sci-fi. I mean, this is sci-fi, but it's political sci-fi. I think, again, the two O'Briens is so good. The Defiant one is so interesting.
Yeah.
The Jadzia one is, I think...
Yeah, B is a good show.
Very high B, though, because, again, it is very well made. But it's yeah. I would just liked them to not have done the, just see the past, and I don't know. But yeah.
Well, but what about its conclusion?
What? I don't know. Let me skim. Where does the line draw? Because all I remember is they spent all the time in the room. That's all I remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth in the room, but I love the way that they're kind of dealing with it. I also love O'Brien and Kira trying to find them in different time zones or time lines.
Same street,
different time eras. There you go. And they only have a certain number of transports that they can attempt as well. So there's some good comedic moments there.
But it is very much like, we have nothing for them to do. Let's write 6 1-minute shorts that don't do anything. They're important levity, but they could all have been cleverer, because they're just simple, cheap little vignettes, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of Die Hard again, but the reverse. He's Hans Gruber. They're hostaging, which is interesting, but I don't know, it looks goddamn plain.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening art design wise that isn't grey, but texturally it's great. The acting's great. I guess this is probably the precursor to Cisco is a genocide-able person, because he fully commits that he's a beaty-uppy modern criminal, and you could see him torpedoing a planet and killing everyone on it later. Like, this is where he becomes brutal, because he has to be.
Yeah. I think torpedoing the planet is pretty unfair to say. He's not going to instantly kill everybody. It was going to release shit into the atmosphere, which would make the planet uninhabitable. It would take out like 50... I forget what they said.
Yeah.
But
those guys.
Anyway. It's fine. Hashtag Cisco
did nothing wrong. Yes.
Yeah, it's about the same as for me, honestly. Now that I'm scrolling through it as part one, like it's a good cohesive story. About two parts
It
together.
is. It is.
I don't know if it needed to be two parts though.
You couldn't have done it in one, but didn't need two.
1.5. Oh.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably for me a middle of B. I think the acting's stronger, but there's a lot less story. I like this, or had they done less in the room, more with Kieran O'Brien, maybe even go into, it doesn't necessarily work, but like a TOS version. Like, you could have, you know what I mean, done a little bit more with that. But that's, hindsight, whatever. They were staying quite grounded, apart from the peace sign thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the acting's fantastic, and they also had fun doing it, because it's pretty high stakes. Like, it feels high stakes.
Indeed. All right, go vote on the poll if you haven't, guys. Do you like the AI-generated fun? Yes or no? Go vote. And also hit like. We have 34 likes and 34 people here, which is great. But I guarantee some of those people that were here earlier left. New people came in and haven't hit like yet. So
that's how it works.
Try to get to 40.
Yeah, and we have not got every episode submitted, so we would like to get at least sort of 2 or 3 more. I think running down to the last 2 have been submitted. So we'll get 3 more episode submissions, and a few AIs would be great. Another sort of 5 super chats would be tremendous. But let's bring in maybe the last of the existing set. Alright. Where do you want to go in this? Maybe the last one.
Probably it's time for another S.
Oh.
Do you think it's time for another S?
I mean, let's see if we agree. Dum dum dum. Ah.
The Adversary. Great way to.
Oh, yeah, end of the season. Yeah, gosh. No two-parter. So we've got 2 this season, just ends with a 1-parter. Which kind of feels like a 2-parter with how crammed it is.
Well, it continues in the next season. Not really.
I was like, what?
This just sets up the entire next season. This is a great Eddington episode. He's not a bad guy yet. He's very much... This is a whole who's the killer on the Defiant episode, where they have to... There's a lot of who's a changeling going on. Because there's a changeling on board. Everybody's getting blood samples taken. A lot of hot-headedness and confrontation going on. Yeah. We get 2 Odos at one point, which is great. And it's Odo versus Odo in the engineering room. And then he changes into the other shapeshifter, and we get a shapeshifter murder. That's never happened before. It's not been another shapeshifter.
Yep.
But it really raises the stakes for Odo, at least, and the Federation. So, but yeah, it's basically a hunt around the ship to see who the changeling is, because there's some sabotage going on.
Yeah, this one is really interesting because in terms of well, first of all, Captain Sisko. He's now officially promoted, which is pretty wonderful. And they're doing a mission to the Gamma Quadrant, of course. Great use of the sets. This is the one episode I watched a lot to find reference material to build the sets, because they use every square centimetre of the sets. In several scenes, they do the same corridor, but left to right, right to left. And that's okay. But everything is used, and it shows how successful a spaceship is. Because I will happily watch scenes in the Defiant Bridge and not think it look boring. But shots in the promenade, shots in the... Well, not promenade, but all the DS9 sets, these all look good and fresh and interesting. And it just works better for me as a physical set. But yeah, the Dominion Bomb. I believe first of the engineering set, which is a great set. And obviously very well used this episode. Yeah. And it's another testament. We've seen what the changelings can do conceptually. But now that simple idea of, and what if there was one that wanted to cause harm? One. Everything, because he's toying with them, right? Whole episode, he could kill all of them, snap their necks. He's playing, he's toying. and they're barely able to. And the fact the crew thinks they're keeping on top of it, kind of, but all the Changeling is doing is just planting seeds of despair, and they're all reacting. And because no one can trust each other, because yeah, it's really
Isn't it O'Brien at one point that's the shapeshifter?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like half the cast. It's great.
Yeah.
But also, it's also not who you think a few times, which is also really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, at the end, really a bold choice. Yeah, they go full on Changeling murders. They've made a point of every episode to say. Although in fairness, it feels as if the other Changeling is going to kill Odo. Like he's doing a weird thing, which again, wonderful effect, holds up super well, looks really good. And I mean, I'm assuming it's a reverse. They based the later effect on this, but dying shapeshifter looks like the disease later, so
yeah,
I'm sure that was all sort of connected. But yeah, dies into ash, and this kind of resets the playing field. Now the rules have been broken. We can now do a bit of Changeling murder, whatever, right? The gloves have come off, although they were never really on, really, with Changelings, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's it's one of the best DS9 bot episodes. And you can't keep doing this sort of episode, but this one's really great.
Yes. Yeah, it's an intriguing spy field episode, and it's done really well in the confines of the Defiant. So, I love at one point they have to all wander around the ship together because they don't want to separate. But yeah, fun episode. Really, this really ramps up the stakes for the next season, and they've kind of all season. I think they're kind of honing that blade. And this is the tip, and it's right before it's about to go wild on everybody. So, yeah, this is a great episode. It's got to be S tier.
Yes, no, I agree because it tells you how dangerous one is.
Yeah,
and then next season after, there are 3 on Earth, and you're like, oh no, there's 3, and you mean it. So each time
they didn't know how many at first. They thought there could be hundreds, and it's like, no, there's only 3.
Yeah, and that, so not often can you put 100 million over 5 seasons of a TV budget into a building story, but in retrospect and hindsight, they pretty well build up, even with a separate war in between.
Yeah.
Very effective, and definitely for this sort of storytelling, that is one of the best they did. So yes, that 100% is nice.
Excellent. Eric Martin, $5.
Ooh.
No idea what's going on, but wants to join in. Hey, Eric.
Hey, it's a breakdown.
Glad you could tear yourself away from your work.
Oh, but that's another 5. So pick another episode. And we're nearing the end of the batch. Any Fs to come? Because we are doing well.
This might be an F.
Ooh.
But only because I don't remember much about it. It's the other one with the next one walks on called Fascination.
Ah, yes.
Let's see if we can remember what the hell it's about. Oh,
Everyone gets horny, if I recall.
Yes, everyone gets horny. Shakaar, and Kira are going at it. Only ones that aren't is Miles and Keiko that are fighting. If I recall correctly, maybe not. But Jake's fallen for Kira, and there's Jadzia's all over Cisco. But yeah, I seem to recall Brian and Keiko aren't really getting along because she wants to go to Bajor to do botany stuff.
And then Dax and Cisco.
Yeah, Dax and Cisco's great.
And then at the end you get Brian and Kira, who's actually a husband and wife, which is even funnier. Or at least they were. I must have read at this point.
No,
but
not O'Brien.
Sorry, Bashir.
Bashir. Yeah.
And then Bareil and Dax like, no, I think It's a very fun, silly. Yeah, and the fact that Keiko and O'Brien just make up at the end naturally, it feels kind of nice. I remember that being satisfying. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Despite all that bullshit, It's nice.
Another Betazoid throwing off things episode.
I just we saw a bit where Sis gets punched by Baral, who's like, "Nah, friend." Very much like the Q scene. He's like, "Oh, come at me, don't try," and he takes a punch and punches. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, I kind of take back what I said going into it. I don't think it's F-worthy.
No.
A lot of really great moments, and they get to play some different aspects of their characters, let's say. So it's really fun to watch as well.
Well, it's because Roxana is doing it, and she did it with TNG as well, I believe. She made everyone go weird. I think.
Seems to ring a bell, but I can't remember exactly the specifics.
She has a better look in this one. I think she's better balanced because it's a nicer payoff to Odo. She's being less silly, and she lets everyone else be silly. So the balance is better, and because they're being properly messed up, it's not like a little change. They're just playing. It's just a fun episode. There's just fun. Yeah, a lot of interconnective, lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shocking that DS9, the series show, can do this kind of show, but it can. Every once in a while. Oh, and yeah, Quark's wearing the earring to capitalize on the special day. That's it, just to make profit. Makes sense. Yeah, I think this is a really strong C, or if the successful playing, because a lot of these performances I'm remembering vividly is like that was a good performance. Might dip into a low B because it is a rare form of this sort of. I think it's pretty successful, so I'll let you decide on that. But it's.
Well, we'll put it in C for now because there's no room in B.
Oh.
I mean, there's room for one more. Which...
Speaking of one more.
Oh.
I as I was skimming, I saw the Bolian from the other episode. I want to make him captain, and it's put him in a sweater.
Nice. And we got a Klingon with a Federation badge.
Not a bad uniform though, in fairness. I said Voyage Bridge. That is just some bridge. Not bad. Not bad.
Oh yeah, Sarek was the one that was throwing emotions on other people in TNG, not Roxana.
I thought there was Roxana as well. Like I'm pretty sure she also had one.
Possibly.
Yeah, the Muse. No, that's this one. No, that's a different one. Oh, for goodness sake. A different episode where Roxana has brain memory problems. Goodness. I don't know.
Alright. Next up.
Last 20 minutes, guys. Any last minute AIs, throw them in. If not, let's... yes. Young Jem'Hadar. Which I don't...
Abandoned.
Oh, yeah.
Mark finds a baby in some wreckage that he bought. And turns out, it's a Jem'Hadar, and it's very rapid aging. And it's the whole moral conundrum of what do we do with this? Because it's, despite the fact they're trying to raise him to be like, normal, his aggressive tendencies are coming out. He's very Jem'Hadar. But still a nice kid, I guess. But he feels like he wants more, he wants to be aggressive. And then we find out that he's addicted to something, but we don't know what yet. So he's going through some issues, which Bashir has to figure out.
Yeah.
And find out about the white. Also, Odo's kind of his guardian or his mentor because he's a founder. Of course, the Jem'Hadar are hardwired to obey the founders. So
he also gets his quarters for the first time, I believe. He's now likes to experiment with being, rather than live, he doesn't want to be in a bucket in his office. He now likes to be in quarters where he can be things.
Yes. But it's another one kind of like the TNG episode The Hunted, where they're kind of security's going after him on the station, if I recall.
A little bit, yeah. That's a pretty small part of the episode, but yeah, certainly you push it. So I remember this great acting by the guy.
Yeah.
And this is a really sad episode from remembering, because it's you need this for them to be a proper race, because up until this point they're just the baddies, the Jem'Hadar's baddies, who can beam in through shields and they look amazing. But this tells you everything you have to know, which is they are genetically modified beings. Everything they are is imprinted, is built in. It's not their fault, and unfortunately means we can't convert them, and we can't talk to them, because even with 100% useful nature versus nurture, this kid goes berserk, wants to kill some things, is addicted, all that stuff you said, and it's so disheartening, because there's nothing you can do without giving them fake Ketracel and then moving their purpose so they can do whatever they want. Like, it's so sad and kind of brutal. Yeah.
Also a side plot of Jake wants to introduce his dad to this Dabo girl that he's dating, and Cisco's all like, Dabo girl? I don't want to meet her. She's too old for you. It's yeah. It's
and
fun.
She is, yes.
Absolutely. It's kind of weird. But anyway.
It's a great way of having a world-building episode with a lot of heart. And it skips everything you need to know about the Jem'Hadar. There's a couple like this.
And it gives Odo a nice father kind of role to do. Would have been great if this Jem'Hadar came back at some point.
Yeah. Like Hugh, right? The one slightly more unique version. Yeah, but I think the fact is he is so trained. It is what it is, right? Unfortunately, they can't shoehorn in it working yet. They just never go back to the plot and never try and change them, except just give them free Ketracel White. Pretty good. I like this up more than a lot of these because it is so needed and interesting. Isn't the best thing ever.
I'd say a high B for me.
Yeah, it's less fun than some of B, but the acting's really strong and what it does to the world. Yeah, I think. Yeah. If it had a bit more different things in it, a bit more diversity, it'd be an A, probably. But you have to do quite a lot of difference in that for it to be an A. But yeah, it's definitely a great idea, well done.
All right,
cartoon, Dave. Have fun.
That's not fun, man. Undesired and open-ended vacation. Sounds like he got fired.
Oh, cartoon, Dave. That sucks. But enjoy, or not.
It's just Area 51.
Look, I'm just reading what I see, man.
I know, but Area 51's been with us since the beginning. He just changed his name, so that what screws me up, too.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, you're next. Pick one.
Moogie, the sequel. Or Moogie the first. No, Moogie the first. Always raining on Ferenginar. I can't remember the name.
Family Business.
Yeah, because it turns out she's been running secret business stuff for a while. And she's very successful, puts him to shame, which is great. And Brunt, I believe, is a thing in this. Can we get into Quarks illegally? That's kind of funny. Oh, yeah, Cassidy Yates. Start of that. Yeah, very much two B plots, but with a lot of amazing acting, and the makeup is obviously incredible for the Ferengi and contextually.
It's cool learning about Ferenginar, seeing their home, the style of their homes, kind of like Hobbit homes.
Yeah.
Round doors. It's always raining. I think this is the one with Mo the Marauder, the toy that he had growing up.
Probably.
And just, the family dynamic between them is quite interesting. And yeah, getting to know Cassidy Yates. Find out that she has a brother or something that does baseball. And
classic original Earth baseball. Really? Yeah, with this and this,
It was like 9 leagues or something. I forget what you said. 9 teams.
Because they were not vibing at all until they had something in common. Because he was on a date. He has an ex-wife that, because she died.
He didn't want to go on this date, but Jake wanted him to, and
Yeah. I just wish he didn't abandon the baby mama. Whole thing's ruined a bit by the end.
Yep.
And then doesn't Moogie give her money to Rom or something? Or fake name? It's definitely a clever end. Quark is satisfied, but really Moogie's outsmarted everyone. As per.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me I'd say a low B. Low to mid B. It's
Yeah.
really fun. I wouldn't necessarily choose it to watch. But it's a lot of fun in a lot of ways. It's just,
It's a friendly episode.
Yeah. But yeah, B is a strong note, right?
Yes. Alright. B it is.
Season of Bs, Stuart. Season of Bs. I feel like we're going to miss these episodics when we get to season 7.
Oh, we will.
Because these are pretty distinct episodics, but with some universal add-ons.
I guess that next up would be the House of Quark.
Uh-huh.
Where he meets, what is her name, Grelka?
Yes.
Grelka?
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to remember why they have to get married. Why they do get married. Hold on a second. Just back. There we go.
I have no idea. Well, Garon's in it, which is great, and it's definitely comedic for Garon. I actually think he's in this. Because this is before he appears in the rest of the season. I totally forgot he was in this one. Although weird makeup, his costume, his head looks weird. But yay for continuity. And then, I think the second one's better when Worf is here and...
Yeah, the second one's better. It's more enjoyable, I think.
But it is great to see the TNG sets back, rebuilt. And the cast are great. It's definitely house politics, but not as memorable as the second one, because then you have the really powerful Jadzia Worf's story.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, the Quark's kills indirectly a Klingon, and his widow comes and says, "You're the one that killed my husband."
Is he now the head of the house by definition?
Only if they get married. Because he killed him, took her. Yeah, she has to kill him to get. I don't know. I can't remember.
But he has to marry her for a technicality so she can get honor back.
Yes.
And Worf is jealous because she's famous and rich.
Yeah. There's also a plot in this one, like Keiko closes the school, and she's kind of mulling around the house, and there's kind of a little O'Brien trying to make her feel useful or happy.
Gosh, what a weird thing to put in a DS9 story about her being unhappy because the school closed. Hey, I like them doing stuff. I'm sure they were thrilled.
Yeah.
I think that's better on rewatch, but I don't... Nothing has vibes except the gimmick of, well, Quark's winning Gowron, right? That's all I'm remembering, like, 'cause I'm scrolling. The second one just hits harder.
Something about if he died dishonorably, she would lose all the house, but if she died with honor, something about a male heir as well. I
Classic Klingon stuff.
Yeah. And Quark does the good thing and I guess marries her. Sure. Anyway, yeah. Don't remember the specifics, unfortunately. So.
But easily a C, if I'm being plenty good.
Very, very good. All right, and then what's the last one? You got them all?
Nope, the Brunt gets wormhole aliened. Not Brunt, Zek gets wormhole aliened. Improbable cause, maybe? Nope. Profit motive? That's probably it. Yeah, profit.
Oh, profit motive, yeah.
Yeah, so Nagus is now a nice person because it went to try and do dealings with the wormhole aliens, and they realize it's a character flaw, so they make him nice, and so he's fantastically nice,
Yes.
but it's going to break everything about the Union, and they have to go back in, and Quark has to negotiate with the wormhole aliens to make him bad again from their context, and he does, and makes him even more annoying because he's like, I'm even more powerful at the end.
Yes. Great synopsis.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really strong one-line brief. Wormhole aliens make the Grand Nagus of the Ferengi nice. Doesn't quite hit as hard as it could do, because it sort of can't, definitionally. But, great idea. Done reasonably fine. Yeah, pretty good, yeah. Happily a C.
Yeah.
Probably, if you're for comedy, B. And again, cleverness, but, yeah.
I don't know why that got moved when I didn't grab that, but that's okay. C.
Ah.
Cool.
So how do we feel about season 3?
No Fs.
No Fs?
That was a good thing. Yeah, it's a season of mediocrity, but not really, because it's better than the last 2 seasons. Lots of Bs, a lot more Bs than I expected there to be. Haha, sort of did that. But also 4 S's and 3 A's. It's a pretty good chunk of the season. And the ones even in D aren't bad. They're just odd.
So
yeah, this is where it's kind of getting its footing.
So I'm looking at the last season. We had 3 S's, 4 A's, 2 B's, 4 C's, 4 D's, and a couple that people didn't put for. So more spread out. Yeah. And honestly, the Bajoran episodes factor in as the lowest of both. I can't hear you again. And the Marquee stuff is C.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, yeah. But that's the thing. B they're all interesting sci-fi concepts with either a guest actor or a strong in-universe presence, each one doing something. There's a Ferengi episode, a Trill episode. We're not inventing random alien races that might be fine but not great. We're adding to the lore in meaningful ways, all of them. With A, I think, having better stories, and S having it coming together in a way. And I mean, 3 of them feel like more expensive episodes. They just sort of commit in a way that's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well done there. They're upping the... And honestly, I mean, a season of all Bs is not a bad thing.
No.
Yeah. How do you guys feel we did? As we start to close out. How do you feel?
How do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I've got some slight back pain, so I can't say fine, but yeah.
At least you understand the question.
Mm-hmm. But the other question I asked you all at the start: do you like the AI generated fun? 65% say yes, 35% say no. Cool. And that was definitely a fun additional little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Surprised by the results, honestly, a lot of them. So.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. Next season, in theory, is one of the best ones. And the last the last episodic one, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I can see season 7 being a bit of a bloodbath when it comes to this scoring chart. Like a lot of things like, half I don't remember, half I do remember.
Yep.
Half I do remember, half I don't remember.
Well, yeah, up until season 6 at least.
Star 6, yeah.
There's going to be serialized storytelling per episode, but also a B plot, which episodic makes it episodic.
Or the reverse, an A plot, which is the main thing, and a very strong B, 100%.
Yeah. Which I like being able to differentiate where the episodes change, so
yes,
we'll see how it goes.
But then in season 7, it's a lot more like the next chapter in a book.
It's like six-part episodes at some point. Just part 6.
Which are not meant to be watched or reviewed as single parts. They're meant to be a building now. Now, the Babylon 5 might have the same exact problem, in fairness, for season 3.
Yeah.
But when we get there, we're not going to have as much. And also, let's be fair, it gets a lot more samey. Season 7, The Dominion, Wayoon, Cardassians, Defiant, Battle. Look at the variety here of cool sci-fi stories. There's always many guest stars or locations. A lot more linear, which is great for narrative, but review-wise, boy, they've really got to... Yeah.
And yeah, May season 4 starts with a bang. Hell yeah.
Worf be epic. Epic be the Worf.
It's a Klingon afternoon.
As we close out, Stuart, talk to the fans about your film coming out Saturday, which you've now seen.
I'm in a film. Yes. Get to see Captain Foley doing his thing with the Foley class. I know. Don't even ask. But it's really cool, actually. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. It's got a good length as well and good special effects. It's fantastic.
And it's one of those things, it's worth watching again because the way Stuart delivers his lines is a multiple viewing. Like, you got there at the end to... No. You got there at the end to appreciate yourself. Because
I watched...
You're layered.
I was tired and... Yeah. And also, I was tired and sick when we filmed that. So I can see that in my... It's kind of... I don't want to critique it right now, but
yeah.
I come across as a little bored at times.
Disagree.
And it's okay, good. I'm glad you disagree. I'm super critical of myself.
Yes, you are.
That's what I'm saying. But also, I got bags under my eyes. I needed a makeup person on set that day. God damn it.
Boy, there's a few films where Nick is not looking so good, so don't worry about that. No, I think Stuart delivers a multifaceted led performance that expresses both a character, a vibe, and a TOS character and vibe, which are not the same as everyone else. You would absolutely think it was a TOS story, and I've already had many compliments as to your style from people. So, you know, get ready to enjoy, because it's I don't do much TOS, and it feels like TOS, even to the point of having some, you know, less positive interspecies like dialogue, because in that point you can be more mean to things because it's TOS. And if my dad's less positive about Klingons, but TOS, so.
Yes.
Makes sense.
60s.
Yeah. Yeah. I try and keep them contextual, right?
Yeah. No, it's a really good one. I'm not just saying that because I'm in it, but...
You weren't saying it originally, so now you're saying it. Good.
I know. I felt bad for kind of poo-pooing on it, but I was tired.
I know.
Wasn't happy with my performance, and there's distracting things.
It's a great performance.
There you go. Check that out. It'll be out on Saturday on Sam's channel. So Trek Shorts, you know.
And give it a share, because we want Stuart's first full film, although he has been in several now, as a Ferengi, a Klingon, and a Foley.
And more Foleys to come.
Check it out. Enjoy. Like to share it. Get some views. And comment. If all of you comment, it'll help the algorithm as well. So if you can, please do. And see the Foley in full action. Doing its thing.
Tell me how tired I look.
Oh, you're up all day with Orion I mean, people.
Perfect.
All
right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you Saturday for our edited content, I guess. Next week, I am away in Vancouver all week.
Ah, yes.
So I don't know what's happening. We'll figure it out. Okay. Until then, he's Commander Cocky.
He's got a Foley.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.